Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Zero number 8800S-BK. This is a piece of silicone, kerfed-in style weather stripping is what it is. This is what the profile looks like, and there are some images or photographs down below this video to show you a little bit closer of what it looks like. In essence, this is a very elegant way to seal a door. Why is it elegant? Well, when you create the kerf in the face of the stop, and by the way, there is a link below this video to a document called Installation, along with that cross-section that you see there, that will show you what I mean by kerf very clearly. It's an elegant way to seal a door because when the door is closed, you don't see any weather stripping. When the door is open, there's no projecting weather stripping intruding into the door opening space that might be unsightly, that might be a cause for hazard, potential hazard. A bit easier to mitigate down the road when you need to replace it because, and my experience of kerfed-in weather stripping goes back a couple of decades, but the point being that 1/8 of an inch wide kerf, that's been a standard for a very long time. And while there are other kerf sizes that deviate, everything that I've been doing since the early 90s has been 1/8 of an inch wide kerf. So I think down the road, let's say 20 years down the road, and the material has fatigued, even though silicone is of exceptional durability, it does fatigue. I had to replace weather stripping on a door of mine that was 12 years old. Exterior application in Chicago. It just fatigued. It wasn't sealing as well. Didn't stand as proud off the face of the stop as it once did. So simple replacement. I mean, literally, cut to length and push it back in. So, you know, it was a 3-minute job. The point being that this is an elegant solution because it's a long-term replaceable solution, even should this exact profile fall off current manufacturing standards. So an 1/8 of an inch wide kerf is going to serve you perfectly to stick that barbed stem down into. They have this at 9/16 overall width, and the tape measure indeed bears that out. They have an uncompressed width of just under 1/4 inch. Let's see here now, for 7/32 of an inch. Would that make sense? Yeah, it would actually. Something in that range. About a quarter, just less than a 1/4 inch. A kerf depth would be a 1/4 inch deep to get the barbed stem down into. You know, of course, this is all rubber, so it's just, well, silicone. So these dimensions are just an approximation. But you're going to create a kerf. Now, what they're not giving you is that back set from the rabbet to where the kerf starts, but they're showing in the picture you're probably going to just go from this point here over to the center line of the stem and just eyeballing it on the camera. And I think the caliper is the woodworker's true best friend for measuring things. You're going to be at about 5/16 of an inch over from the end to fit that in. When it compresses towards the large bulbed end because that is closed down to a point there or pinched down. It'll compress towards the center of the opening. Okay, and, you know, probably picks up an additional 1/16 or maybe an 1/8 of an inch when it compresses. Made of silicone, so it's durable. It's going to be exceptional with extreme temperatures and exposure to ultraviolet. The 8800 is representative of the profile. The S means silicone, and the BK stands for black. The data behind that is just simply the length. This material is sold in a roll, but we list it in the site in lots of common lengths. Let's say you needed 200 feet. Order 212-inch pieces and indicate in the comment field, ship this as a continuous roll of 200 feet. We know you don't want 212-inch pieces, or maybe you do. So just clarify that. I can't think of an application other than very small windows where you would use 12-inch pieces, but it's very possible. You might be using this as glazing as well. I can imagine French doors where you've got, you know, 12 by 12 cutouts and you're using it there. Okay, so order it any size you want. It's sold per foot. So don't order, if you need 14-inch pieces, well, let's use if you need 34-inch pieces, but you need so many of them, realize you're paying for a 3-foot piece. So maybe work out the math so that you order one longer piece, realizing you're simply going to cut it to length. If you need a 40-inch piece, you're paying for 48-inch piece. But if you need a 48-inch piece, you're paying for a 48-inch piece. Sold per foot is the bottom line. There's a link below this video to the product catalog, which is super duper handy because it will allow you to review all of the cross-section curved-in style silicone and neoprene weather stripping and pile, and some Kulon material, Kulon type material that's there, and some bronze. People love the Zero silicone and neoprene curved in style weather stripping. Why? Because of the well thought out and engineered shapes of the material. This teardrop style. When that door closes and makes contact, you have a serious amount of surface area between the jamb and the door. Because of its projection, which is actually, it was given earlier, just less than a 1/4 inch, 0.218. That door can even be warped a bit. So, and not that it's normal, it's not, but it happens. You could have a door or a jamb you could have a scenario where the jamb is kicked out or the hinges have been machined improperly, so the door actually stands askew from the face of the jamb a bit, so that when you close the door, you make contact at the face of the stop, but at the lock, you're 1/8 of an inch out, but then at the top of the door, you might be grossly out or 3/16 out. So this weather stripping will compress down real tight at the bottom, and then because of that 0.218 projection, allow you to get away with contending with that warped door scenario or improperly machined hinge, or the fact that nothing is plumb. That could be advantageous to your scenario. The other profiles that are there are really smart because they will build on that large surface area concept, and they'll do so in different ways. The ones that we sell the most of, the 8004 is not that unusual. The 8800 is common. That 8004 I like a lot because you've got a flapping over of material occurring, and I like that one because of the potential for capture of the intrusion of air because of that, the way that those two fins flap over each other. The 8052 is not uncommon either. That's relatively common. And then the 8054 is likely the most common one that we sell of all. I like the 8048S myself because I'm going to seal a bit on the edge of the door and on the face of the door with those two fins that are moving away from each other. So, Zero, well thought out material. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Zero products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I'm partial to Zero, even though their lead times are typically long, and sometimes that's saying it politely that they're long, but I can tell you that their material is always well worth the wait. If you have any questions on the 8800S or 8800S, curved-in style, black silicone, teardrop style weather stripping, or any other Zero product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.